I have 3 puppy clients right now, and I am excited about it for multiple reasons. So let's talk about it. I specialize in dysregulation and in aggressive behaviors. So most of my clients have anxiety disorders, trauma disorders, hyperarousal, hypoarousal, chronic stress. They may or may not be displaying aggressive behaviors as part of that. And then sometimes I have clients who are displaying aggressive behaviors but are not chronically dysregulated. I wouldn't say it's rare for me to be working with a puppy, meaning a pre-adolescent dog. But it is unusual for me to have 3 at once, particularly in a slower time of year, like right now around the holidays. Most of my clients are adolescents or adult dogs or seniors. So let's say 6 months or older. And what's interesting about that is that with a lot of those dogs, we know something about their early behaviors. Whether that's because the dog has consistently been with the same family from pre-adolescence until now, or because we have some information about the fosters or the rescues or the shelters or the family who had the dog as a puppy. And sometimes we even have information from before the first family when we have a dog from a breeder, or someone has gotten a puppy who was born into a foster home or born into a shelter or born to people that they knew and got the puppy from. And often we can look back, especially with the dogs with anxiety disorders, we can look back and say, there were red flags that this puppy was not developing typically, that their brain, their nervous system was not developing typically. But oftentimes folks will see that behavior and they'll think, the puppy will grow out of it. Oh, the puppy's just shy. Or sometimes folks will really feel like something's wrong, but everyone around them, the breeder, the veterinarian, their friends and family, even potentially the trainers they reach out to, are saying, that's just having a puppy is hard. This is what you signed up for. Having a puppy is hard. This is just having a puppy. And then fast forward, and it's not just having a puppy. It is not typical to see in a pre-adolescent dog fear of people, big fear of other dogs, noise phobias, separation-related distress that goes beyond what we might expect to see for the developmental period, an inability to sleep, huge startle responses, compulsive behaviors, aggression. Those are not things that we are going to expect the puppy to outgrow. In fact, those are things that are going to get worse if unattended to in adolescence and then social maturity. And as I have these 3 puppies who are all under 6 months of age in my caseload right now, I have like this optimistic hope that we are getting perhaps better and better at identifying this atypical pattern earlier. That perhaps pet parents are becoming more and more behavior savvy, more and more familiar with what is atypical. Or perhaps the information about this is getting easier and easier to find. Perhaps our supports like trainers and veterinarians and breeders are getting better and better informed so that when these pet parents go to them, they say, yes, let's get a behavior consultant. Let's see a veterinary behaviorist. And I don't know, obviously that's several steps. That's an extrapolation. But I just think that historically this is atypical enough. It's not unusual to see people seeking out help in adolescence or later, right? Like it's such a small window. You bring home the puppy around 2 months old, and 4 months later they're in adolescence. And so to recognize that there's a problem and figure out what to do about it and act on that within that 4-month period, it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't find it strange at all that most people are seeking out support, in adolescence or later. But the earlier we intervene, the better, particularly when we're talking about, pre-adolescent brains. We have a real opportunity to change how the brain is developing, which is what we want to do. And I don't know, maybe it's silly, but I'm just like, oh man, what if that is becoming easier and easier? What if that is becoming more accessible? And so that is my best hope. We've made some videos and had some conversations around the idea of our behavior problems becoming more likely, more intense, more complex than they used to be decades ago. It seems as if that may be the case for a myriad of reasons. That's not what this video is about. But as part of that evolution, if we are better able to flag, hey, this is not a typically developing puppy, this is not typical behavior to see, this is really early to be seeing reactivity, aggression, big fear. And it's easier then to go from that point to who do I reach out to? How do I find appropriate support? A certified dog behavior consultant, a veterinary behaviorist, evidence-based care. That's a game changer. And so I'm feeling optimistic and excited about that.